now with Northwest Arkansas News. Always, this is KNWA Live at 10.
Now on KNWA, our investigation into gas prices takes us to 3 different states to find out why prices are so high. Good evening, I'm Matt Turner. Neely Jones has the night off. Well, we've heard a lot of reasons for high gas prices in Northwest Arkansas, with one of them being that the gas stored at the Razorback terminal is the most expensive in the state. And that makes sense considering most of the fuel you put in your car comes out of that tank at Rogers. But KNWA has learned that wholesale gasoline there now selling for 16 cents lower than just 24 hours ago. Now, the pipeline we're talking about runs from Mount Vernon, Missouri to Rogers, which is where we find KNWA's Doug Curran, who's standing by live with the very latest. Doug?
Good evening, Matt. Yeah, as of 6 o'clock tonight, the gas stations were buying fuel for $3.04 at the pipeline terminal behind me, and those gas stations are still selling it for very high prices.
We continued our quest for answers as to why the gas is so expensive here at the pipeline. As we approached the Razorback pipeline security gate, we had to speak to someone through an intercom system.
Hello, this is Doug Curran from KNWA. I was wondering if anybody here could talk to us about the high gas prices.
I'm afraid not, man. We're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to?
No, we're not allowed to talk to the press at all.
Is there anybody here that can talk to the press?
No, sir. You probably already got the number for our Denver office.
But as of 6 o'clock tonight, the price of wholesale gas, meaning the price stations pay to load up on their trucks, fell 16 cents. We have seen no drop in prices yet and seen no official reason why from gas officials.
So, Matt, as of 6 o'clock, we said they're making about 21 cents off of a gallon, the gas stations are. And for more answers, basically what they're telling us is talk to Denver. Matt?
Yeah, we're hearing that a lot, Doug. We appreciate that report. Now, as for where the Razorback pipeline begins, KNWA's Alex Flippin made the trip to Mount Vernon today. He joins us live with an update. Alex?
Well, Matt, we pretty much ran into the exact same wall that Doug ran into there at the Rogers terminal. Now, coming up, we suspected that we'd probably get some of the same responses he got, and that was that we needed to go to Denver, Colorado with our questions. But we came here anyway, and even though it's a bit off the beaten path and a little tough to find, we realized pretty quick it was going to be easier to find this place than it would be to get any answers here.
You may not be familiar with Mount Vernon, Missouri, but a lot of fuel that ends up in Northwest Arkansas takes the short journey from here to Rogers every day. We came here to get answers to some very simple questions we never even got a chance to ask. There's no way into the Razorback pipeline terminal other than this gate where visitors buzz an intercom to gain access. But unlike most intercoms, sitting at the other end of this one is no one. Throughout the day we tried, and tried again. But not one person ever responded to us. In fact, a truck driver leaving the terminal was the only person we ever saw. Could he help answer any of our questions? The answer is no. So we called the facility to at least let someone know we were there. And just like the intercom,
Hello, you reached the Razorback Pipeline Company in the Transmontane Terminal.
There was no answer. It's hard to tell whether there truly was no one at the Razorback pipeline terminal to speak with us, or if we were simply being ignored. But after staying staked out in front of the facility for several hours, it was clear we weren't getting our questions answered today.
Now, obviously, we didn't get any of those questions answered in Arkansas, and we certainly haven't gotten any answered here in Missouri. So hopefully, Whitney Ray did a little better in Denver, Colorado, where we were told by the Razorback Pipeline to go to get the answers to our questions. Reporting live, Alex Flippin, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.
That's right, Alex. And like you said, everybody telling us to check with a company in Denver, so we sent Whitney Ray there to get some answers. He joins us live now from Colorado. And Whitney, what'd you find out?
Matt, we spent the day trying to get answers from people with Transmontane here in Denver, Colorado, but the vice president didn't offer us very much, and it wasn't long before security guards asked us to quit rolling, and we had to leave the building.
Hundreds of miles away from Northwest Arkansas, there's a company in charge of pumping in most of the gas you put in your car. Transmontane Incorporated is a Fortune 500 company that owns the Razorback Terminal in Rogers. Several gas companies that buy their gas from the pipeline say it's the most expensive in the state. So we traveled to Denver to find out why.
You have to have a card to get onto the floor?
Yeah, I don't know if mine works for that.
Transmontane is located on the 31st floor of the UMB Bank building, but you have to have a key card to get to the offices of Transmontane executives. So we called to see if Eric Carlson, the vice president, would come down to the lobby and talk with us. The secretary got him on the phone, but he refused to answer any questions in person or on the phone, except to refer us to a statement he faxed to Fayetteville on Monday. You're not going to answer any more questions outside of what your statement is?
That's correct.
Well, can you bring us a copy?
You can get a copy from Brooks Thomas.
We're in Denver, Colorado. We're not in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
I understand that, but there are fax machines. I'm not going to come downstairs because then you're going to throw the cameras on and start asking questions. I'm not going to get into that.
And you don't want to answer any questions?
I just told you that.
Then, just minutes later, a security guard asked us to stop recording. We barely made it outside of the building and onto the sidewalk when another security guard approached us.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good, how you doing?
But just making sure you're not getting any film from the building.
In front of the building?
Out of the building itself.
Okay.
You talk to management.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're on public property, we'll get as much video as we want.
That's true.
And Carlson never answered any of our questions. He also never brought us one of those press releases or the written statement that he faxed to our station on Monday, but Matt Turner has that back in Fayetteville. Reporting live in Denver, Whitney Ray, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.
And I don't think Whitney made any friends while in Denver. Now, as for the statement we just told you about, here it is, quote, "Our facility receives gasoline via exchange from third-party suppliers who utilize our facility for the distribution of gasoline to their customers. Some of those customers may operate branded or unbranded retail stations in the vicinity. It is therefore the supplier, not Transmontane, which sets the price of gasoline for sale to its customers." End quote. Now, speaking of prices, the Democrat Gazette had a headline today, if you can read this, which says gas prices take a weekend leap of 15 cents a gallon. Now, what's strange about this, for the first time in a while, prices actually went down in our part of the state. Now, as for why these numbers constantly change, an executive at Murphy USA said Northwest Arkansas is in a Midwest market and that the rest of the state is supplied by a cheaper Gulf Coast market. He also said it was a supply and demand issue and that the Razorback Pipeline Terminal was the most expensive storage facility in Arkansas. Meanwhile, a vice president at Flash Market VP told us pretty much the same thing. He also added that Northwest Arkansas lies in an unfortunate part of the state, but he wouldn't explain why. And Easy Mart also gave us the Midwest versus Gulf Coast reason, but none of that really makes sense after hearing what a local gas station owner said just yesterday.
They jack up their price 4 times a day. I mean, that's not stupid, that's really crooked, you know. They're not honest.
And according to that owner, many are also telling lies when they blame high gas prices on the cost of shipping it to Northwest Arkansas.
That's a bunch of baloney. I mean, you order truckload, they just charge you what they charge middle of nowhere or in the heart of city, you know. It don't make no difference.
And that brings us to tonight's rant. If you have something to say about gas prices or anything else for that matter, just go to nwahomepage.com and click on the rant. Now, if you'd like to do something about this issue, here are some numbers of people you can call about gas prices. If you don't have time to write all of them down, you can find the complete list on our website. And it appears that those calls seem to be working. Attorney General Dustin McDaniel is still planning a trip to Northwest Arkansas this week. He's going to speak to some of the people who have filed complaints with his office.